Today we're going to be talking about changes to the Army in the year of 2025. We're going to be covering every single change that happens to the Army this year, so make sure you stick around till the end so that way you can know of all the changes that are happening. How's it going, everybody? My name is Sean Millette. I am an Army Sergeant and I've been in the National Guard for about 6 years now. I just make a bunch of videos about the Army and military as a whole to better educate and inform service members and people that are thinking about joining. And just before we start today's video, I want everyone to comment down below what change you would like to see to the Army this year. And feel free to steal one of my ideas that I talk about in today's video if you feel like that's a change that needs to happen. Otherwise, feel free to come up with your own ideas of a change you think should happen that I did not touch on in this video. Probably the biggest change and most important change, and the one that everybody would love to hear, is a pay raise. There is a pay raise, and actually not just one pay raise, there's 2 pay raises happening in the year of 2025 for Army service members. And what I mean by 2 pay raises is the first one I'm going to touch on is a 4.5% increase in pay for all service members in the Army. This is officer ranks, enlisted ranks, junior enlisted, senior enlisted, everybody in between. Everybody's getting a 4.5% increase in their pay. Additionally, the second pay raise is going to be for junior enlisted troops. That includes private, private 2, private first class, and specialist. So that is the E1 through E4 ranks. And that's always good news. Who doesn't love a little extra money? Obviously with today, the standard of living is a little bit higher. Inflation has driven up prices for just about everything that I can imagine. And so getting some extra money is never a bad thing. The next change I want to touch on is the new Army assault rifle. And this is supposed to be replacing the M4 and the M16. I'm not really sure when this is going to take place. I'm in the National Guard, and currently they said sometime later this year, so maybe active duty already has it, but I've seen some videos and some footage of some people testing out that new AR, and I'm going to say it looks pretty cool, and I can't wait to train in on it. Here is a photo of that new assault rifle on screen, and like I said, yeah, I've watched some videos on it. It looks cool. I'm not going to get too much into specifics just because, you know, I haven't been trained in on it, but when I do, I'm probably going to make a video about that and kind of share some of my knowledge that I learned. Another major change that the Army would like to make this year is technology integration, just getting more familiar with technology and getting everybody on that same level. I know in the National Guard here, we use a lot with Microsoft Teams, kind of for group chats and group texts, but maybe that's just personal to my unit, I'm not really sure. But this also includes things like drones. As technology is advancing, we are relying a little bit more on technology. So drones is one thing, and also robots. Yes, the Army has robots and it uses them for various different things. So basically just kind of getting people trained up on those. And believe it or not, there are actually MOSs, and that is what you do. You fly drones or you control a robot. As far as fitness goes, everyone knows that the Army has a big emphasis on fitness, keeping their soldiers in shape, and it sounds like they're going to try to kind of re-implement what they originally intended to do and make the ACFT a little stricter on the combat MOSs. Me, myself, I am a 12 Bravo, which is a combat engineer, which is one of the 5 combat MOSs, and I don't necessarily disagree with this because if you think about it, these are some of the more frontline troops, the ones who have a little more of physical demands while they're out on the front lines. And this is something that's not technically new. It just kind of went away for a little bit as the Army's tried to implement their ACFT. Is they used to have a heavy, medium or moderate, and light standards, and that was kind of based upon what MOS you had. And so obviously the heavy had to do more of everything, the moderate was in the middle, and then the light was the lowest standards. And then the Army went back and said, never mind, that's not fair. Everyone's gonna have the same standards, and you just basically, you have to, I think it was like you have to get like a 60 or above on each event. And that's the way it's been for me in the National Guard for the last 2 years, but maybe they're gonna try to come back and find a better way to implement that. The last change I wanna touch on is something I made a previous video on, and I will probably put that in the cards, just so that way if anyone wants to watch it, they can. But that is a new Army PT uniform. Supposedly this is something that back, I think even in like October or November, the Army said they want to change and implement and kind of put out later this year. So hopefully we actually see that. There's a lot of complaints about the previous PT uniforms, saying that there's, you know, better materials that could be used on the clothing, that the all black uniforms doesn't really help when soldiers are doing PT super early in the morning and other soldiers are trying to drive to start their duty day, and it's hard to see those service members. So it sounds like that's something that's going to be changing, is getting some new PT uniforms this year. I believe that is just about all the major changes that are happening in the year of 2025 Army-wide. I hope this video helped you out in any way. If it did, again, make sure to leave a like on this video so that way more people can see this. And yeah, that's all I got for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Peace out. Hey, thanks for making it to the end of the video. If you'd like to subscribe, click right about here. And if you'd like to watch one video of mine, you can click right about here. And if you'd like to watch a different video of mine, you can click right about here.